The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup will see the best footballers on the planet do battle. Ada Hegerberg is back for Norway after her self-imposed international exile, while Germany is seeking redemption after Euro 2022 heartbreak. Immerse yourself in the biggest sporting event of the year with the Contenders. In a huge boost for women's football, Norway star Ada Hegerberg is back on the international stage. In March 2022, Hegerberg announced her return to the Norway squad after a near 5-year absence. Hegerberg quit in 2017 after a dispute with the Norwegian Football Federation over their treatment of women's football across all levels. The striker was left mentally broken from her experiences with the Norway national team.
I think it's more general in the way you look at respecting women's in the football, and that comes from the federation as well. It's a lot of things that need to be done to make the conditions better for women who play football. And now I'm not just only talking about younger girls, but I'm talking at the ones who actually play national team at the moment. So it came to a point where I couldn't perform anymore because I couldn't give 100% of what I had to give because I didn't get back what I was expecting. So that was the crucial point where I had to, now I'm moving on. I'm not going to play for my national team anymore.
Hegerberg's decision to step away from international football sent shockwaves through the women's game. Despite having no regrets about opting out of the 2019 World Cup, she concedes the situation could have been handled better.
It became a mess, to be honest, because we left that meeting with some clear thoughts. It was, of course, a tough decision for both parts, but right after it became a mess in the media, and it didn't end in the way I wanted it to end. I have no regrets with the decision I made. I feel confident. I try to work as hard as I can every day, and even you play a World Cup or not, there's lots of things you can achieve as a footballer, so that doesn't change my ambitions.
During her self-imposed exile from the Norway national team, Hegerberg created history when she was crowned the inaugural winner of the Women's Ballon d'Or in 2018. She took out the prestigious award after winning the Champions League with Lyon, scoring in the 4-1 victory over Wolfsburg in the final, one of 15 goals she scored in Europe that season. Hegerberg made more history in the following campaign, becoming the first woman to score a hat-trick in a Champions League final, as Lyon thrashed Barcelona 4-1 to clinch a 4th consecutive European crown. All up, Hegerberg's stellar career with Lyon has netted a staggering 7 league titles, 6 Champions Leagues, and 5 French Cups, making her one of the most decorated women's players of all time. She's the leading scorer in the history of the Women's Champions League, getting to 50 goals faster than any other player. Hegerberg's international return in time for Euro 2022 created a big buzz leading into the tournament.
They have Hegerberg back. I think that's good for them. I think that's very good for the game too. Having a personality and a player like that on big stages is very good and good for the women's game.
Representing her country at a major tournament for the first time since 2017, Hegerberg failed to fire as Norway were eliminated at the group stage. But she'll get the chance to put things right at the 2023 World Cup when Norway takes on co-hosts New Zealand in the tournament's opening game on July 20 in Auckland. Hegerberg is certainly one to watch at what will be her second appearance at the finals. Up next, two-time champions Germany won't be short on motivation heading into another World Cup. One of the world's most successful national teams, European giants Germany, are serial winners in women's football. The Germans have big tournament pedigree, winning back-to-back World Cups in 2003 and 2007, while never being eliminated before the quarter-final stage. And their winning mentality makes them one of the favorites to lift the coveted trophy for a third time in 2023.
We have a feeling that we can win every game if we all give 100%. Even when the game doesn't quite go our way, we still trust in the contribution that everyone brings onto the pitch.
The two-time world champions booked their ticket down under with absolute ease, winning 9 of 10 games to qualify as group winners, scoring 47 goals, conceding just 5. But after falling agonizingly short of winning Euro 2022, losing the final to England in extra time, there's a sense of unfinished business within the German camp. While their performances at the Euros made the nation proud, they will be motivated to go one better at the 2023 World Cup.
I'm very proud of our team, because I don't think anyone really had us on their radar before the tournament.
A 2-1 win over reigning world champions the United States last November further enhanced Germany's credentials.
My opinion is that you don't get gifted titles anymore. In European football, we have gotten so close to each other. We have so many good national teams that have developed so much in the women's game. Therefore, 8 or 9 teams can win this tournament. I'm certain of that.
Germany's group for the 2023 World Cup looks straightforward on paper. The 8-time European champions have been placed in Group H alongside Colombia, South Korea, and World Cup debutantes Morocco. Their first game is against the Moroccans on July 24 in Melbourne. Ranked third in the world when the draw was made, the Germans are set to play the runner-up in Group F in the round of 16, likely to be France or Brazil. A tantalizing quarter-final against European champions England could then be on the cards. Germany's run at the Euros was led by Lena Oberdorf, one of the best young players in the women's game. Oberdorf's fine midfield displays saw her named the Young Player of the Tournament and also earned her selection in the Team of the Tournament. Oberdorf sits at the base of Germany's midfield in Martina Voss-Tecklenburg's preferred 4-3-3 formation. Captain Alexandra Popp will lead the attacking line after her goal spree at the Euros. Popp scored 6 goals at Euro 2022, and there's every chance she'll climb up Germany's all-time leading scorers list at what will be her 4th World Cup.
Slowly, we are running out of words to describe her. She's an absolute beast up front. She is simply so important for the team. She's the leader that the team needs, even when she was sitting on the bench. She makes so many runs for the team, holds up so many balls, and then obviously there's the goals.
While the competition is fierce, Germany has the talent and strength in depth to break a 16-year World Cup drought.
had one job. You literally had one job, and you couldn't protect us.
Abuse towards female athletes has been a problem for as long as women's sport has existed. Women have been subjected to physical and psychological abuse at both professional and grassroots levels. And football has had its own issues when it comes to treatment of female players, after disturbing findings from an independent investigation into systemic abuse in US women's soccer were brought to light. It's been revealed that verbal and emotional abuse and sexual misconduct had become systemic in the National Women's Soccer League.
I found the whole report challenging to read. You know, obviously this is near and dear to my heart. I've been a part of this game all my life, and then from the youth all the way up to the professional level and an international level. And so the women's game is really important to me, and many of the players in this report I know, many of them I coached, and I found the whole report shocking.
The investigation included more than 200 interviews with current and former players, coaches, owners, and staff.
The players are not doing well. We are horrified and heartbroken and frustrated and exhausted and really, really angry.
The third game of the night and the third time in the season.
Allegations of misconduct towards players saw 5 NWSL coaches either sacked or forced to resign in 2021.
Right now, let's just
The report says some teams and individuals did not fully cooperate with the investigation.
What's next?
People in authority and decision-making positions have repeatedly failed to protect us, and they have failed to hold themselves and each other accountable. And what and who are you actually protecting, and what values are you upholding? You have failed in your stewardship. And it's my opinion that every owner and executive and US soccer official who has repeatedly failed the players and failed to protect the players, who have hidden behind legalities and have not participated fully in these investigations, should be gone.
Despite having to deal with such appalling behavior, women's football continues to thrive in the US. It's a testament to the players' strength and resilience. In January 2023, 4 NWSL coaches were permanently banned from all participation in the league, following the investigation into allegations of systemic abuse.
We will continue to work and learn and listen. We will do our best to think about it from a short, medium, and long-term perspective. And as announced on December 14th, there will be implementation of changes for the 2023 season. We announced in conjunction with the Joint Investigative Report, and that work is ongoing. But that won't be the end, and it won't be the end of our changes. There are a variety of initiatives that are going to take months and years to develop and implement, and we really are at the forefront of this work.
6 NWSL clubs were also fined for their part in allowing the misconduct to continue.
We know that we've talked about fact-finding, corrective action, and systemic reform, and we're really proud to be able to start a new chapter.
Coming up, we take a look at how women's football has evolved in the media. For years, women's football has fought to be seen, with their male counterparts dominating the media landscape. The coverage and awareness of women's football was once limited and not easily accessible. Women were even banned from playing football in many countries around the world. But a drastic shift in attitude towards women's football has sparked unprecedented interest in the sport, attracting the attention of global audiences. With major TV networks investing in the women's game, there's now comprehensive coverage of major tournaments, as well as domestic leagues and cup competitions.
Every year you're going to see more investment. I think if you look at the FA Cup final weekend, you had 1.3 million watch it, on TV. So there's an appetite for women's football.
The Women's Super League in England is just one of the competitions reaping the benefits of a new and improved broadcast deal.
Now we have a full professional league in this country, a very elite standard. A lot of top international players want to come to England now because they see the product, it's visible. We have TV deals with Sky Sports and the BBC. The visibility that is there now for women's football. I think more and more people are interested in the game.
With the games being shown on TV and on the internet as well, I know now a lot of people say, oh, can we watch the games? And it's great that you can say yes, because it used to be, no, you'll have to wait till the next England matches or something like that.
Women in football are now becoming increasingly visible, not only as players and fans, but also as pundits. More and more females are landing prominent media roles, providing analysis and opinion on both men's and women's games.
That's why it's so important to have female voices out there who are helping to promote the game and just continuing to kind of, fight for that equality.
Women's football has come a long way in achieving its fair share of media coverage, and improvements to the accessibility of the sport will only boost the game's growing popularity.
The coverage of women's football through the media has changed over the years. I remember doing my own sort of social media platforming and sending out newsletters myself or posting about our team and sending numerous emails about, when are we getting coverage, and having, numerous discussions about why isn't there enough, cameras at training or photos on the website. When you would see the male side being promoted, and now it's all about equality and making just as much noise about the women's to the men's, that there's a want and a need for that media coverage. And certainly the fact that we've all sort of jerried to the fact that, hey, people do want to hear about us. And the age-old, excuse of, oh, nobody wants to hear about women's sport or women's football, we've discredited that numerous times. The best part about how it's evolved in terms of media coverage is the fact that when we went to major tournaments, we would be splashed all over the paper, and then we'd go missing in the media in between. So anytime we were at a major tournament, all eyes were on us, and then it was nothing in between. So the growth of that is now that, whenever there is a news story about a female player, it's on the news, it's all being portrayed year in, year out. And the only thing I would probably would want more of is the same that we're having in the coaching aspect, is that more female voices. I think, unfortunately, it's a long time now it's been about looks and how a female looks and how they get those sort of media opportunities. And I think it's time for people to step aside and say, some of the men out in cameras are not all that too crash hot, and they seem to get enough jobs just fine. So I'd like that sort of, opinionated sort of side of things to change. A lot of girls love it, a lot of girls hate it. You know, the camera life is not for everyone. And you can see the ones that are a little bit more confident in front of the camera, that they might be able to push it as a career.
It's really difficult to be picked.
It's taking its time just because people aren't used to a female voice. So there might be people that are saying, oh, I don't like her voice or I don't like this, but soon enough it'll just be different. It'll just be one to the other, not really noticing. You know, as long as you know what you're talking about, you sound passionate, that you can create some atmosphere for the game that you're you know, telecasting. I don't think it matters if you're a female or a male voice. I just think people need to give it a little bit of time just to adjust their ears, because we haven't been in the skate for that long.
Still to come, Colombia's fight to preserve their professional women's competition. With Germany favoured to top Group H, Colombia will aim to pinch second spot and a place in the round of 16 for just the second time in their history. Colombia opens their 2023 Women's World Cup campaign against South Korea on July 25 in Sydney, a match that could decide who advances to the knockout phase.
We must play. We don't know the result until the end of the match. I think it is a good, solid, and challenging group. The fact that we are at the World Cup is enough motivation for every player and manager.
The South Americans will take their place on the World Cup stage for the first time since 2015, but their path back to the big time wasn't without its setbacks. In 2019, Colombian football officials downgraded the country's professional women's league to amateur status due to its poor economic results, a decision that threatened the livelihoods of many female footballers.
We are all dismayed with this news, especially in the face of what this means for our future. What guarantees are we going to have professionally to do what we love? The message that is being sent to all women is the return to the bad old days. We go back to having a space where there are no guarantees, where there is no income, where gender equality is again abysmal, and where the macho narrative is allowed to reign free without any repercussions.
But after a desperate plea from players and local media, officials backflipped on their plans to cancel the professional league.
These were many years of believing in something. We were given the illusion of a league, and now they are taking it away. And also, we are talking about a generation, because in 20 years, we hope that the girls who come after us can have a league in their country.
Women's football in Colombia has progressed following that turbulent period, culminating in qualification for a third World Cup after reaching the 2022 Copa America final on home soil. Our 1-0 loss to Brazil was the third time Las Cafeteras have finished runner-up in the last 4 editions of the South American tournament. Colombia's only Women's World Cup win was against France in 2015, proving they can also compete against European opposition. Keep an eye out for Colombian sensation Linda Caicedo. The teenager won the Golden Ball at the 2022 Copa America and is one of the most exciting young talents to come out of South America. After their Copa America final loss to Brazil, Colombia went on a 6-game winning run and are unbeaten in their past 9 matches. They will look to carry that momentum into the 2023 World Cup in Australia and New Zealand.